corner you take, every fighter you meet, every record you beat, we will be following you. Every single jump, every trophy won, every wicket you break,
I forgot
every
Messi,
breakaway,
Argentina, Swiss, Gabriel
every
Jesus.
cross.
You will be Croatia, Mexico, Iceland. Is there any doubts about Nigeria being a footballing country?
Every victory, every single sport,
Studio.
we
Max
will
up.
be
Welcome inside the locker room.
It has come to that time during a smooth breakfast with Folu and myself, Valentine, where we'll get to join Tega Supreme in the studio with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we get to talk about the sports or the disappointments over the weekend, or the head slams, the falling, the flying, from Ronaldo to Messi to Iwobi. Hi, Tega.
Hiya.
All right. So, Lagos, to join the conversation, send a tweet with the hashtag LockerRoom981, and it's LockerRoom981 on Twitter. You send it to at Smooth981FM. You can send a message to WhatsApp as well at 0809 444 981. Our first story: Nigeria's top sprinter, Ogene Egwero, is stepping up his preparations for the African Athletics Championships that's billed for August 1 to the 5th in Asaba, Delta State. In his words, Egwero said, "Yes, I'm preparing for the CAA. I have great hopes that things can happen. However, this depends on whether the country needs me, because I haven't heard anything concerning the championship preparations from anyone at the AFN." Is he working alone?
You better pack yourself and go. It's Kuku your state. It's not like your village is far from the place. You can use the opportunity to see your grandparents and then come and run. Don't be waiting for the country to do anything for you. What about what you do for yourself?
How about the kids? Who's going to provide that?
Egwero does not have kids. Are you kidding?
Okay.
First of all, this championship is open to all, and if he says I'm trying my best, I'm preparing, I want to be the best in Africa, I'm coming here to compete, better be like the South Africans that are coming there by themselves, and all them Van Niekerk, the rest of them, they're going to be there. So if you're looking to compete with world-class talents, get ready. The cup tournament is all the way in August, number one.
Mm-hmm.
We will not prepare for that tournament till the end of July. so why he's talking like he just came into the country, I don't understand. First of all, we will not open camp till end of July. So no need to be thinking that. So for now, he should be practicing on his own best time. For now, he's in Germany. The facilities are, everywhere around him. So just use that. And then when they call camp last minute, as usual, you come there. Mm-hmm. And then you run your race. You're still, in fact, for him to be waiting and say, "I'm not heard from the country. Let's hear from you. Have you started running sub 10 for first thing first?" No. Then concentrate on that. And then when they call you, you come. I'm not saying that the system is perfect as it is, but you know the system.
Yeah.
And so why are you
probably trying to get attention.
Go, it's Asaba. His village is not far. His village is worried. So Asaba to worry is just
act right. Act right.
Don't be doing anyhow.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk some tennis here. Roger Federer is set to beat Milos Raonic to win the Mercedes Cup in Stuttgart, his first event for 2.5 months. Federer beat Canadian Raonic 6-4, 7-6, 7-3 in the final, and he said, that's Federer, "I played very well throughout the tournament. It is a great comeback for me. I'm so happy to have won. I was hoping to play a couple matches here, but I have played 4 and won them all. The last few have been very good. I hope to keep it up at Halle and Wimbledon. It will give me a boost as well as being back at world number 1.
Yeah, very interesting. He has, this world number 1 that himself and Rafa Nadal are handing over like baton. It's very upsetting because Rafa Nadal was world number 1 last week with French Open. This week it's Roger Federer that's world number 1 with a win. But it's the way he came back in grass court. He took his time off, like he said. His body needed to heal, but also his strategy. Because sometimes when you lose one match after the other, you just want to back up and say, okay, what am I doing wrong? And I think he took that step back. He was able to beat, I think his toughest match for me was the one against Nick Kyrgios. It's always a tough match against Nick Kyrgios. But he was able to come through that after losing the first set. He won the third set in a tiebreaker too. He lost the first set in a tiebreaker. So in that competition was just to make him know how sharp and how ready he was for a big server with variety like Nick Kyrgios. Raonic was pretty much predictable. So I didn't expect. The tougher one was Nick Kyrgios. So once he got through that, it looked like the title was always going to be his. So now he's world number one. He's going to be in Halle this week. And then after that, he's going to be at Wimbledon. I think he shouldn't be playing back-to-back tournaments, especially when they are not necessary. These are all 500 ATP tours. You've had the preparation with Stuttgart, and I understand his connection with the Jerry Weber tournament, but do not push it. Save for Wimbledon. But if he insists that he's ready for grass courts and he can play as many tournaments as he wants, why not?
I believe him. He should go. Fernando Alonso celebrated a victorious debut for Toyota in the 86th edition of the Le Mans 24 Hours race. In his pursuits of motor racing's Triple Crown, the Monaco Grand Prix, the Indianapolis 500 and the Le Mans, the two-time Formula One world champion ticked up the second of the three prizes in France. Alonso said after the final run, he said, "I felt great tonight. I do not know exactly how, but I managed to make the tires work for us at the right time, despite the cool air temperature. Our pace has been good, and I was lucky with the traffic as well."
I like the way he said, you can tell he's a Formula One driver.
Yes.
Talking about the tires, the temperature,
everything.
Everybody else is just driving. What are you doing?
He's a professional. He wants you to know.
He's an F1 driver, but this is amazing. So there's supposed to be a hat trick of tournaments to win Monaco, win Le Mans, and then Indy 500. He tried Indy 500 last year. His car now, he was running second, then his car gave up, which is what happens to him in F1. His car gives up. But this one was a good car. It's the first time in 20 tries Toyota has won. It's the first time a Japanese car has won since 1991, and it's Alonso that is doing it. So it's amazing. I just can't wait. This thing, when he has won Le Mans, so I'm just waiting for what Lewis Hamilton will do. He'll now be like, okay, maybe I should actually jump into moto. Yeah, because he has always said he wanted to go into MotoGP or maybe run one race. So now that Fernando Alonso has won somewhere else, I can't wait to see. Lewis Hamilton just always follows him somehow. It's an Alonso attraction. I don't know what it is, but he may, because of this, decide to do something else. But it's interesting. Congratulations to Fernando Alonso. I was so excited, and I can't wait for him to win Indy 500. So let's do this.
That's the next
one
to watch.
All right. Something that I will not be watching is this next game. Super Eagles coach Gernot Rohr has put aside Nigeria's shock 2-0 defeat in the hands of Croatia, and he insists that Nigeria still has the chance of going through from Group D. Rohr said, "Everything is possible in football. It's important to make at least 4 points if you want to qualify. You are only a point behind for the moment. Nothing is lost, and all is in our hands. Let's be positive. We have the youngest team at the World Cup. Let them learn and try to do better. We saw Iceland have a good game against Argentina, a very strong team, but we can also do better than what we did today, Saturday. We have to win against Iceland, but all is possible still. If we win the next game, all is possible for qualification."
First of all, I will get to this delusion that Argentina is a strong team. I've said it before. If you take out their forwards, Argentina is Equatorial Guinea.
Really?
I don't know what you're talking about because I think the names of.
When they play better game.
I think what I'm saying is.
Thank you. There are only like two people.
I'm not done.
Okay,
I'm not done.
Right.
Before you start casting, I'm castigating everybody that did badly. So don't even start. Which is why I'm coming to the delusion that Argentina is a strong team. Argentina is not a strong team. Wasn't a strong team since the last World Cup. So don't let's not even trip about that. I think in our group we were more likely to beat Argentina than to beat Croatia. That's how I thought our group has been from the start, and it hasn't proved differently. But going back to the Nigeria game against Croatia, tactically that is the strongest team in the group. And this World Cup, yes, there is space for quality to shine. But ultimately, it has come down to which team has the best strategy, which is why Iran was able to win a game in the dying minute after all the pressure that they've soaked up. It comes down to who has the best strategy. Germany played their hearts out. They lost. strategy. And so at the end of the day, it is showing what football has become. Football has started moving away from natural talent,
From expectation.
from natural talent to tactical teamwork. So you may have 10 Cristiano Ronaldos. If your tactics does not work, it does not work.
Because we have stronger and stronger
teams.
teams. It no longer
So
relies
it's not
on the individual
that's
player.
that's what happens now, which is why you're looking at people like Brazil struggle against Switzerland.
Yes.
They player for player.
They couldn't do nothing.
So
Like I was so shocked.
This World Cup is ultimately down to team strategy, and it's because of the long season, if you ask me, that players are having now. So they're playing much more football. At the end of the day, your talent is not going to be enough. It's how you execute and modulate the games. But for Nigeria, we didn't do that very well. And people say, yes, we don't have quality, we don't have strategy. No, I think we have quality, but we played with the wrong strategy, the wrong individuals in the wrong position, and the coach did not turn it around. At the end of the day, the beginning of Nigeria's problem did not start with set piece. Set piece defending, we've been having that problem since I've known Nigeria. In fact, it was the one weakness I identified long before Nigeria started. But it had a flat midfield. So your defense, every time Croatia got the ball, Nigeria's defense was under pressure.
Yeah.
Every single time because your midfield was flat.
How about
so if
forward?
you can sort out, forward would do better if they're fed. They're not fed. How many times did Igalo see ball?
Okay.
He cannot score air now.
No air was scored. Not a single air was scored. That's all I can
The only
think
person,
of.
in all honesty,
Petrol.
in all honesty, the only person who scored the air was Victor Moses. Or the air scored him. Lagos will take a break. We'll be back with more sports news.
What you're about to hear
Is a listening
If he
experience.
gets his midfield right, he will get a good result. If he gets his midfield right, he'll get a good result. Because it's okay to concede. It's not okay to not have chances.
Because our first shot on goal came in 59 fucking minutes.
It was a mess.
Because he didn't seem to think that there was anything really wrong with how he played his boys. And the boys
And he
were
was
now confused.
and he
with what
expected
they
to
were
sort
doing.
because there's nothing you can do. If you tell me as a coach, you tell me to play wide.
Yeah.
Even if I know that I'm better straight down the middle and there's somebody in that middle, we will always crash. Or clash rather. So it's not
It was
It was an unpleasant thing to watch.
it was a
Because we could have done better. I think that's why it was so painful to
yeah.
see. Because you know what these boys are capable of doing. You know that they can play better. So why did we see what we saw? People straight away started calling for us, and I said, you do not shout things.
I don't think you call for us head now. Just
I don't think it's necessary. But people were I was on Twitter and I was like,
well, it's something he needs to work on because it was a tactic.
I want to believe that
Croatia did not do anything.
I want to believe that maybe they've spoken a lot of English in the locker room and you just want to be like, okay, this is how we want to play like this. Maybe that's because but then you look calm.
He's not that kind of person. He
Because
he's German. He probably thought his team was going to win yesterday. So like, at least my country is going to win one
My
more.
father was just angry. He was just like, this was happening in the big way, more people over Nigerians.
Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life.
We're back in for sports. We're still talking sports inside of the locker room with Tega Supreme and Folu and myself, Valentine. Lagos, send a message to us on WhatsApp 0809 444 981.
Indeed, we got a few coming through already. Cruz sends in this one up on WhatsApp. He says the World Cup don't take star tire me already. He says Biko Tega, where is Sir Andy Murray? Is he on leave or has he retired?
He's injured now. He's just coming back from injury. You'll see him in Queens soon.
Oh, nice. Azizi Classic says, as for the Super Eagles, let me not write them off. I just hope they can break through the ice block or Iceland defense when it comes on Friday. Meanwhile, Davido should just feature Victor Moses in his fall remix.
My goodness.
Someone says, you are clapping. The World Cup has been fantastic so far. Every single team is difficult to play with except Nigeria. Want to use this medium to thank Croatia. You're blocked.
Wait, come on. Ghana did not go to World Cup. You're clapping.
Oh my
I know.
My friend Parkwell, you shouldn't be talking.
Only 5 qualifying
You
countries
should
in
be
Africa,
focused
and
on
Nigeria
your
is one of
country
them.
trying to play football and come out of bribery. You know, you are now here sitting at us that our hands are clean,
Shots
at
fired.
least
Shots
officially.
fired. Officially. More from Ikeja says, this is from a bitter Niger fan. I beg, let's stop calling our team youngest team Joe. They can't even pursue ball. Say. It's true because I saw that race and I thought, hi, you cannot even race faster than this running. Oh gosh. Benga Kamu says, all is lost. I had no belief in this team. Tactics were wrong. Germany, where I played yesterday by Mexico, they had the game plan and players to execute it. Somebody put up a meme this morning with a chihuahua barking at a German shepherd and said, this is the reflection of Germany's game yesterday. While Biggie from K2 says, I can bet my soul on it. Croatia could not have scored. All their shots on target were just going up. I don't know what happened to Moses. Is he under anointing? But the one that shocks me the most, Germany carried full squad and can't concede single goal. Hey, this World Cup is just expect anything.
I'm telling you.
And Bash from Yaba says, did I not tell you guys, Roger, the real champion is back? Who is Nadal? The poor man's court, clay court champion. Roger will win the remaining Grand Slams. Tega, the defense is okay, but the midfield could not connect to the attack. Talking about our Super Eagles. Well, let's move on though.
This is Tega's face. Priceless. Argentina's legend Diego Maradona says the team's draw with Iceland was a disgrace and warned manager that's George Sampaoli. He said he can't come back to Argentina playing like that. I get the feeling there's an anger at the heart of the team, he said. It's a disgrace. Not having prepared for the match, knowing that Iceland are all 1.9 meters tall. I don't know who to... I said I do not blame the players. I could blame the lack of work rates, but I can't blame the players, much less Messi, who gave it all he had, Maradona said. I missed 5 penalties on the spin, and I was still Diego Armando Maradona. I do not think that they dropped 2 points because Messi missed a penalty, he added. Wow.
This guy, I like the way he said it. I missed 5 penalties on the spin, and I'm still Diego Armando Maradona.
Call his full name.
So that you know that he's still
Put some
a baller.
respect on it.
Legend. I like the way you talk about yourself. You're right. But look, ultimately, I will not agree completely that the missed penalty is not what dropped 2 points, because there's some games that are so tough.
Yes.
That if you get something
That's
like
the
a
only
penalty,
chance, yes.
score it. And Messi missed it. Even Messi said it himself at the end of the match that, look, I know that my penalty, if I had scored that penalty, it would have made all the difference. We didn't play as well as we wanted to, but would have gotten 3 points. So Messi admitted that much. But I also agree with Maradona to some extent. Sorry, to the other extent with the play and the approach to the game. It's not that you did not watch Iceland at the Euros. It's not that as a coach, the draws were made months ago. All Sampaoli had to do was watch video. He doesn't need to buy tape. It's on the computer free.
We're all underestimating Iceland.
I don't think so. I think we are not planning for Iceland. Look, Iceland does not have strategy. Iceland's strategy is do not let them score.
That's it.
End of discussion. And if we have chance, we will score. And that's it. There's no pass the ball tactically, do this counter attacking him. There's no.
But Tega, do you know what this sounds like? This sounds like what Croatia were expecting from us.
But we didn't do that.
No.
But that's plan for you. Now planning against an Iceland side, Argentina does not have the tallest team. Sorry, Argentina's team, if you add their height, it's still not, it doesn't make average.
Come on, isn't it Iceland that has the dentists as players?
Don't
No, but seriously.
No, look, don't answer that story. That story is rubbish. That was 2 years ago. They played qualifiers. They cannot all be, they are mentioned one.
Okay.
All those, that story came from 2 years ago.
Because, the opposition has a lot of professionals.
They had a lot of, all of them in Iceland are also professionals.
Okay.
They were not coming from their dentistry job to qualify for you. Don't let people. Don't do that.
Okay.
But they did.
Yes.
They did at some point in time all have part-time jobs.
Yes.
So all have full-time jobs. Part-time was football, and then they played and qualified for Euros. After the Euros, it wasn't. We are coming from the factory to come and that's not how it was. It changed. So don't let people be telling you those lies of 2016. But that being said, the Argentine team did not strategize. You want to play against a tall side. You are putting the ball in the air. And you are all midgets. How do you want it to work? How do you want want to get the ball, roll it on the floor. Make a few passes,
Yes.
increase the speed of the ball. Don't play at a slow tempo. The tempo that Argentina played at, it made it easy for Iceland to set up their defense and to stop every single. So it was strategy from San Pauli. That's what it is. And that was missing. And I totally agree with Maradona. You cannot strategize against Iceland and expect not to win and then come back home to Argentina. Argentina, not like Nigeria.
not welcome you.
It's not Nigeria. We will look like Nigeria and say, well, the Lord gives and
After
the
all
Lord
this,
takes.
the shirt is
You
fine.
go
It's
to
okay.
Argentina and then you just walking down the road, so just poke his finger in your eye.
Messages are flooding in. World Cup fever is truly upon us. But let's go to this next story first of all. Germany's coach, Joachim Low, admits that his side paid the price for their poor first half performance against Mexico. He said that in the first half we played very badly. We're not able to impose our usual way of playing. Our attacking and passing was not effective. We were not effective in the spaces. There were lots of counter-attacks and we had to run back a lot. And of course, we were very vulnerable because we lost the ball in our forward movement and then left an open gap. And despite his disappointment, though, Low insists that their approach will not change. He says, of course, everybody's really unhappy and crestfallen, but tomorrow we have to look forward. Now, the German team is known to be rather resilient as well. Tega, what do you expect from them going forward?
First of all, I expected that this was going to be a very tough game. Mexicans are not like that. They don't roll over. They've met the last 6 meetings prior to this one.
Yes.
Germany has beaten Mexico. But the thing is, it was always a close loss. 2-1, 1-0, somewhere draws 1-1, 0-0. But it wasn't, apart from Confed Cup last year where they beat them 4-1, it wasn't horrible. It was always going to be tight. Mexico are a stubborn team. They're also a team that, yes, you may not see too many flair players, but the tactics is spot on. And that's what they did. Yeah. For Germany, this year, they did not carry a defender that stays at home. They have one ball carrier in Matt Hummels, and then they have Jerome Boateng that likes to go forward. He's very adventurous. Yeah. So, because their two central defenders do not stay back to help, every time there was a counter, Germany was exposed. And that's what Low has to look at in the next game. One of you must stay at home. One of you must, because first of all, the two fullbacks are already joining the attack. So if we have a ball carrier, Matt Hummels, that's always on the halfway line, then there must be somebody that's helping out the second defender. So it's not always 3 Mexican guys against 1 German defender. That's not a German team at all. That's not a German team that we've come to know. Yeah. So yes, going out to get a goal, sometimes you may struggle, but the worst thing about it is that if you cannot score, do not concede. But that was the mistake they made. They couldn't score, but they conceded. Yeah. The Mexican side had the perfect tactics, and they could have scored 3 or 4 more goals. That's how exposed the Germans were. A better team would have beaten Germany silly yesterday, but it just ended up 1-0, 1-0, 2-0. It's just still 3 points, but it's a horrible start. And there was this report I was looking at: defending champions losing their first match and crashing out of the World Cup.
That would be a very sad story. That would actually be very disappointing to see.
What's my business? That would be interesting to see. Go home, Germany. Who cares? You won it last time. Let someone else win it. The
switch up is never expected in the World Cup. Steve from Kano sends this message. It says, I completely agree with Tega. Argentina is not the team many are hyping them to be. Is it Messi plus 10 other people? I just pity Messi for being unfortunate to be an Argentine.
But he to play badly that on the game.
You get it. So the next story here: Brazil made a stuttering start to their World Cup campaign as Switzerland dug for a 1-1 draw in their Group E opener. The Brazilians looked to be in full control of their opener when Philippe Coutinho spectacularly fired home from range in the 20th minute. However, some suspects defending allowed Steven Zuber to nod home from a corner 5 minutes into the second half, and the goal survived the VAR review for an alleged push on Brazil defender Miranda.
First of all, Miranda did not even jump up to defend the space.
Exactly.
So you can't even call it wasn't a foul. If he were in the air and he was pushed, they would have. He
was there. He was right in front of him.
He was just standing there doing nothing, being an obstacle. So it wasn't a block, it was a charge. At the end of the day. So he had to that was a clean goal. But what it was Brazil played a good first half. Not a very good first half, but a good first half. Yes. They created a few chances. They looked like they were dominating. And then Switzerland again came back into the game. And I say at the end of the day, it's also down to strategy. What Switzerland did was, we cannot manage these people fire for fire, but we'll contain as much as we can. And when we do have a chance, we will score. There was no way that goal came out of nowhere. It was a corner kick, and then very horrid.
The Brazilian
defending.
defenders did not
Yeah,
see it.
they didn't.
No.
It's like they're waiting for the corner kick to be taken
Yes.
after the corner kick was taken,
Mhm.
because nobody was really moving a muscle. So at the end of the day, again, 100% concentration, pay attention to strategy, and you make it through in this World Cup. Otherwise, you just keep dropping points. So what has happened is these first few games have put everybody on alert now. So games that they would have approached with a little bit of laid back and casual attitude, they will be playing it
Things
with
are
fire.
different.
Things are different now.
Things are
Things are different now. You just see Saudi Arabia are the ones I picked because they really don't have choice.
Ah.
So
No,
the
let's
goals are
not
about to
go
be
back to that game. That's a lot.
All right, on that note, we do have to take a very quick break. Just before we do, messages still coming up on our YouTube live feed. Keels and Ballistic says, "Score air really? Take out what is that?" And Olufemi Bakari says, "This World Cup, now wow, bookies are in trouble. Indeed, they are." We'll be back for the final sports story inside the locker room on Smooth Breakfast.
What are you saying? They have to sort out that mix. If they either play Iwobi in the center or they play Mikel Deeper. That makes sense.
My boss walked into the office and asked everyone.
But that Iwobi on the wing will never work. Never. The boy has no pace and he has no interest in learning how to run now.
All I want is the better life.
Interesting. So tell us how you plan to make that
You
happen.
call them the youngest players. They have the basic knowledge of being a footballer. Hey.
It's not the public holiday.
But you know, because I remember, and I'll never forget, because after we got the second goal, it was not who is our number 4 player, and he just fell himself by himself in the middle of it, and I just thought, because he
Like,
kicked the ball, because he was trying to kick
Eat your
the ball.
breakfast and stop talking with your mouth full.
No.
Cornflakes is the natural process of making cornflakes just like Nasco does.
And then at the beginning of the game, people were
Cornflakes
insulting
whole to retain all the natural goodness. So
opponents,
next time you're eating cornflakes, make
Jesse,
sure it's
who
all
are saying that it looks like
Nasco
Nasco
cornflakes.
Those are very stupid. Don't mind
Yeah, it
them.
looks like
Useless.
that.
You see that part in Nigeria? You always use wash.
No, it's part of the strategy now. It's
Strategy on top of Twitter, they don't care.
It's part of the. Wait, you think that thing only came from the Twitter here? It came from people in the stadium. It's not from people in the stadium.
Good fire. I heard they were requesting for the regulators and the officials to allow them to take a chicken inside the
So
stadium.
your
They want
family
to-
can stay. 3 Crowns Milk is endorsed by the Nigerian Heart Foundation.
I'm going back in.
Healthy moms, happy families.
Studio. We're in for the final few minutes inside the locker room talking sports and everything, football and all that.
Indeed. So we're getting into our last story right now. So England are facing one of the World Cup's toughest groups as they begin in their campaign against Tunisia in Volgograd on Monday. That's today. Now, manager Gareth Southgate says when the draw was made, everyone had this perception that it was the easiest group. I would argue that it is one of the most difficult, with ourselves, Tunisia, and of course Belgium in terms of the FIFA World Rankings. Southgate is full of respect for the Tunisian coach Nabil Maloul and his side, saying that for every opponent, we would prepare exactly the same, not to flood the players with information about the opposition. I think we've done the same with Tunisia as we would for Brazil.
Well, he's saying the right things. Want to see him on the field of play,
Mhm.
but Africans haven't fared so well. You know, we talk about.
Tunisia, come
We
on,
talk about
man.
it's the Europeans are really winning this battle. The Europeans really are
They're
winning this
dominating the
battle.
World Cup.
Apart from maybe one CONCACAF, which is Mexico,
Mm.
the Europeans have pretty much
Clean sweep.
they've done well. So South America and Africa need to step up. But what so in that aspect, Southgate can look at it and say, okay, we can get one ahead of the Africans. Tunisia is a team that, in as much as they can be hard to beat, they also find it hard to score goals. So and mistakes are part of football. So if they make one mistake and concede, I don't see how it would be that they'll be able to come back into this game. That's my problem with Tunisia. They do not score a lot of goals or enough goals, and that's where the problem is. So England, you can understand that with Harry Kane, with Raheem Sterling running at Tunisia's defense, they may get one or two lucky bounces of the ball, and it's a goal or two. But if Tunisia can't score goals, which is where their struggle is, then how do they get back into the game? That's where the struggle is. But the big one in this group is between Belgium and England, who will top the group, and that's where. So play Tunisia well, and then they can they can play against Belgium with. And get a draw and then beat Panama.
Come on, England.
I like the strategy, man.
So that's the strategy. So he's calling it a difficult group. It's pretty simple for me. That's an easy group.
Okay.
I take this group.
Let him use respect in his voice, so England can just win this game. Let's help some of us who will not feel too bad. Let's round up with your messages though. Edwin Ibe says, you call it the youngest team, yet it is crystal clear that they lack the basic knowledge of a footballer. Can't play an accurate shot and long pass, cannot trap ball. As a winger, you cannot beat your marker either by dribbling skills or sheer pace. Football development in Nigeria, right from our schools to the 8th grade, is erroneous. Wow, Edwin, I understand how you feel. I understand how you feel. Just like in Delta Boy, Tega or Rohr should be fired. How can his attack be made of China and you expect to score? China product doesn't last. Anyway, we are waiting to dance his go. But if we can't score, the fans should start dancing shaku shaku. These Chinese boys with Russian babes can't stop us to be noticed. Sorry now. More messages. Charles from Yaba is talking about quite a few other teams. He says the Mexican, Swiss and Icelandic are the most surprising teams in the tournament for now. Though Panama will string a surprise against Belgium, but they'll chop 5 and an extra for their wives. Charles from Yaba.
I like that message.
This one is in from Chimabi Victor from Moscow. Chimabi, I see you. You are a traveling man. Before his Emirates, you were from. Now you are Moscow. He says this Argentine team, they're a bunch of jokers because they keep disappointing when it matters most. And this Icelandic team, well, they're not quite different from the Iranian team who have no playing pattern, says Chimabi. Well, we'll wait and see. On that note, we're done with your comments for this morning.
Yes, we are.
Thank you to everybody.
Thank you, Tega. Please catch her on Twitter at Tega Supreme, or you can also send her messages and interact with everything sports at LIS International. Coming up next at the top of the hour, Lagos, we get to talk for one of the stories that we'll be looking at from this morning's freshly pressed analysis inside of Lagos Talks 981. Keep it here.